Hi, I'm Tom Durham, writer, producer, and director of the micro-budget indie sci-fi movie 95ers Echoes. I started shooting the movie about 6 years ago, and after much trial and tribulation, it is now going into distribution in various markets around the world. And in fact, my distributor was very kind to send me a sample of the DVD release in Japan. And they changed the name to 95 Time, but I don't really care. I'm excited that it's on a shelf on the other side of the world, and that people are actually paying money for the movie. Going from idea to distribution is a crazy game, and everybody does it differently. I wanted to share with you what I did to get there, and hopefully it'll be of some use to you depending on where you are in your journey. So in 1997, my brother and I decided that we wanted to make a sci-fi movie. So we spent several months going back and forth with ideas and stories, and finally we came up with a science fiction universe and a story that we absolutely loved. And this I highly recommend. I highly recommend coming up with a story that you love. Now, my brother and I didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't have any money, so we shelved the project. I went to film school and worked professionally for several years, and finally I was ready to give it a shot. So I got together with some friends, and we decided to go raise $30 million. This was a disaster. So then we decided to try and raise a few $100,000, which was also a disaster. I had all the fancy business plans you can imagine, spent tons of money on lawyers and all this kind of crazy research, but it didn't do me any good. So in the end, my wife and I decided to just fund it ourselves. So we mortgaged the house and whipped out a bunch of credit cards, and suddenly we had the budget to make the movie. This is something I do not recommend. Do not go into debt to make your movie. If you're good at raising money, go raise some money. If not, then go network with some more filmmakers, or pool some resources with some people that you trust, or just save your own money and make a smaller project. Don't go into debt. The gray hairs that you're going to get and the stress you're going to put on yourself and your family is just absolutely not worth it. Throughout this process of putting the money together, I was writing various scripts to match our ever-shrinking budget. I was sticking with the same story, but the scripts obviously had to be altered and changed. Now, things started coming together. My team started coming together, crew we were getting, some great hookups also on gear, cameras and everything, and locations were coming together. We got casting, we found some great people that we loved, and so this kind of strange feeling started to come upon us of, wow, now we're real filmmakers. We got to make this movie. And so we rushed into production. This was a huge mistake, to not rush into production. My script was good, but it wasn't great. It needed several more revisions. And we had some money, but we did not have enough money to finish the whole movie. And so this caused us later to stop production, at which time I lost some of my team. And then when I finally had money to go back into production, I had to add scenes, which were very expensive. And so it ended up costing me a lot more than had I just waited and get everything together before I started. So over the next few years, we shot and we went broke, and we shot and we went broke, and we shot and we went broke. And there were many, many times that I wanted to just throw the footage in the river and give up. But thanks to wonderful friends and family who encouraged and supported, we just kind of kept going. And finally, my wife and I launched a Kickstarter campaign that, through awesome donations from all over the world, gave us the money we needed to keep the project alive. Totally awesome. I mean, you'll discover that there are awesome people in the world if you just don't give up. And in fact, that's my next tidbit of advice. Do not give up. Don't give up. If you have a worthwhile project and you love it, don't give up. You'll finish it. You'll make it. It'll be awesome. Most independent films are unsuccessful, not because they don't get distribution or funding or whatever. They're unsuccessful because they don't get finished. That's why. Now, even if you get them finished, you may not make your money back, but it's going to be a success. 95ers may not make its money back. So what? We made the movie, and we love it, and the people who watch it love it. So rock and roll, don't give up.
This is going to take some time.
Most of the hours I personally spent on the movie were spent right here. This is a corner of my basement. This is my glorified post-production studio. I literally spent thousands of hours in front of that computer doing the editing and the visual effects.
ridiculous.